Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well, and I hope that you're having a fabulous day. I'm here to do an intuitive card reading to see what insights, guidance, and messages the universe wants to share with us. And it involves, being open and flexible and, taking a step back if you need to take a break, to take a breath, to process, to be able to weather storms and unforeseen complications and challenges that come up, because life is full of the unexpected, and the universe is wanting us to put our best foot forward and kind of quote unquote roll with the punches. Not that we have to be like, yeah, this is great that all this stuff is coming up, but be able to be like, okay, this is the hand I'm dealt right now. Let's see what I can do to make the most of it. And still trying to choose, peace and joy and fun, that kind of stuff. So let's take a look at the cards and see what the universe wants us to know. The first card we have is Burgundy. Awaken Your Passion. Yeah. A lot of times when these challenges, when these complications come up, we can get very frustrated and it can discourage us, it can dishearten us, it can make us disappointed, disillusioned, to the point where we don't want to try anymore. Which is part of the reason why the universe is saying, hey, take a step back, take a break if you need to. Because I've been working on a variety of creative projects and I've been bouncing between them, because at certain points I'll hit this roadblock, this snag, these super bumpy roads, and it's and it'll frustrate me because, I'm human just like everybody else. And so the human ego is like, why isn't it working it the way I wanted? And so I'll have to take a step back and switch to something else because it'll frustrate me. But I made a lot of progress with the oracle cards that I was working on. I have some affirmation cards I'm working on. I am working on journals and journal prompts, and I've been bouncing around between that and coloring sheets and artwork and all these things because it'll go really well for a while, and then with one of the projects I'll just hit this roadblock and it's just all of my motivation dies. I'm like, okay, instead of just throwing in the towel and be like everything sucks, it's let's go to one that I'm more excited about, that I have more passion about, because I'll have all these ideas in my head and it just feels like there's never enough time. So it helps to, awaken our passions, to do things we're excited about, to, be able to switch tasks if it's getting too rough and then come back to it later. That's how I was able to, overcome hurdles with the oracle cards, is because I took a step back, because the coding, I don't understand it. It's this foreign, confusing language. It makes my head hurt, but I know I can do all these cool things with it. And so I have to end up taking a break. Same kind of thing is happening right now with this journal prompts project I'm working on. I want to make it so there's fun extras to quote unquote gamify it, and I want to do this randomizer bingo card maker where you put the prompts on and then you can cross off and try to get bingo with the prompts that you do. But the coding is it's tripping me up again and I'm getting frustrated, so it's I had to take a step away because I was getting really frustrated. And that's the thing, the universe wants you to be excited. And I've seen it with my mom recently. She ended up burning her fingers because she wasn't being mindful of what she was doing, and she was being stubborn and bullheaded and was insisting on doing things. She decided she had to peel an apple because that's what she wanted to do. And I'm just you need 2 hands for that, and you burned your fingers really bad. That doesn't seem like a good idea. And then I was she kept complaining and crying about how much it hurt. I'm like, well, then stop doing it. She's like, I can't. I already started. I need to do it. And she's yelling. And I'm just you're literally complaining and crying about how much it hurts. Try a different way. See if someone else can help you, or you shouldn't have started in the first place. There are other ways. And that's the thing with us humans. We can get in our heads no, I'm going to make it happen. And sometimes I get like that with these creative projects because I'm no, I know what I want and I know it's possible, but then I can hit this roadblock and I'd be okay, how do I get around this? How do I make it work? And yeah, so when we keep getting in that frustrated energy though, and we keep trying to, basically force it to happen, we're just making more roadblocks to ourselves. That's not to say that we should give up and never come back to it and never try to make it work ever. But stepping away can do us a lot of good because we can get into that energy flow again. We can get into the excitement, the joy, the peace, the gratitude, the eagerness. But when we're in that frustrated energy, we're not feeling that. We're just like, what the heck? And we can get mad and like. So the universe wants us to awaken our passion. And this is like a cup of wine. And so, not that you literally need to go take a cup of wine, but a lot of people use alcohol as a way to like chill out, to, have liquid courage and stuff like that, to mellow, to like, so this is more the universe saying, hey, get in that energy, mellow out, relax, take it easy, savor life, enjoy the moment, take a drink of water, take a drink of your favorite drinks, do something to like mellow you out so you can get into that flow state again, because it's not going to do us any good to keep trying to hit our head against the wall. It's like, it didn't work the first time. Like, it's not going to work if you do it again and again and again and again. And if it does work, it's not going to be a fun process. Like my mom, when she forced her way to cutting and peeling the apple, it's just like, you knew you just literally, like she had done it like 10 minutes before, burned her hand really bad, and she still insisted on doing it. And so it's like, we can be like that as humans, but it doesn't have to be that way. Lemon, access innovative thinking, yeah. Because when we get in that frustrated, stubborn mode, we're not being innovative. We're just trying to like plow ahead like a bull, like we're a bull at a china shop. Like, no, this is gonna happen. Oh, I want it. And the universe saying, hey, chill out. Chill out. You can have it work out, but allow for more flexible, open, innovative, creative thinking and solutions. You don't have to force it. That's why you take a break and you can come back with fresh eyes, or you can, poke around and float ideas by other people, see what their thoughts are, because innovative thinking, open-mindedness, flexibility, adaptability, that's going to help you go so much farther. It is. And so take a step back sometimes. I've been having to do that a lot because I want things to go certain ways, and it's like, it's not working. Okay, let's regroup, let's refresh, let's take a step away, breathe, get settled, and then we can come back to it later, Yeah, lilac, strengthen your faith. This is having faith and trust in the universe and that things will work out. That it's not always going to be this way. You're not always going to be struggling. You're not always going to have these frustrations. You're not always going to have these roadblocks. You got to take a step back, though, and be at peace and trust the divine timing, the universe's master plan, because it is going to work out. That doesn't mean you never do anything, but sometimes you just need to step back to be, to rest, to relax, to get yourself in the receptive mode for the ideas and solutions to come to you, or for the universe to give you new opportunities, or for you to, have the right connections, because people are like, oh, hey, I was just doing this. And you're like, really? Like, that's exactly what I needed. I'm looking for someone to help me with this. Can you help me? That's your expertise. Cool. Like, that'd be great, Trust and have faith, because it is going to work out. It's just not always the way we envision it. Sort of like with my mom. If she would just taken a step back and asked someone else to help her, she doesn't really like receiving help, though. She's very much like independent. I'm going to do it myself kind of girl boss thing. And like, she'll complain and complain and complain about how no one helps her. She has a million bajillion things to do and all that. But she doesn't let the help in. She doesn't ask. She doesn't allow. Even if people offer, she might agree to it, but then she'll like critique and be like, you did it wrong, and like then have to like take over and do it herself. So the universe is saying, hey, we don't need the weight of the world on our shoulders. We don't need to do it all ourselves. We need to allow. We need to allow ourselves to receive. We need to allow ourselves to rest, to take a break, to relax, to not be so wrapped up in it that we get so out of, sorts and frazzled and have our feathers ruffled. And you know how it is being human, guys. You know how it is. We got to take a breather. We got to step back and trust and have faith and know that things are going to work out, because they will. We have first quarter moon in Leo. Be humble, yeah. Humble enough to ask for help. Humble enough to know that you can't do it all. Not to say that you're incompetent, that you're unintelligent, that you're incapable, that you don't have skills, that you're not, you don't have power to make things happen. But we're human. Yes, we can do so many things, and we often have more power and capabilities than we give ourselves credit for. But other times, we try to take it all on and be like, I'm going to make it happen. I'm so powerful. And it's like we try to be God, the divine, the universe, and be like, yes, I'm the one making it happen. The universe saying, hey, whoa. Chill out. Yes, you can do things. Yes, you are the, architect of your life, the author of your story, the captain of your ship. But be humble. Know that you don't have all the answers. You are a work in progress and a masterpiece at the same time. So there's still room to learn, grow, and improve. You don't have to do it all on your own. You can be humble and ask for help from the universe, from other people. You don't have to do it all. It's not like it's you against the world. You can get help. Be humble enough to know when you need help, to be able to ask for it, and also to know when you need rest, when you need a break. Because a lot of times we just try to power through and ignore the state of our emotions, the state of our body, our needs, what's best for us. We're like, no, I can do it. I know that happens to me sometimes. I'll get in that hyperfixation mode and I'll just be like, no, because I get so wrapped up in what I'm doing and I'm so excited to see progress and to make things happen that I end up being like, oh, I don't need sleep yet, because part of it is I don't even notice the passage of time, and then it'll be way late and I'll be like, oh, I probably should have been in bed by now. But then I don't want to stop because I'm on a roll. And so it's being humble enough to be like, okay, I need to take care of me. It's not going anywhere. I can make it happen later. We don't have to rush. We don't have to do it all on our own. This is part of why the universe is saying, hey, strengthen your faith. You don't have to do it all on your own. And yeah, last quarter moon in Sagittarius, practice gratitude. Practice gratitude for all the people that do help you, for the universe and how it helps you, how it sends you blessings, signs, messages, insights, guidance, all of that. Because we're coming from a place of gratitude rather than a place of, frustration and complaining and victimization and anger and resentment and all of that. It opens up more doors. I saw this short recently and it makes me think about my mom. And it was about this guy who's like, yeah, I feel very unappreciated by my wife. She wasn't, saying thank you or appreciating anything I did for her. And then he's like, and then I realized I wasn't practicing gratitude. I wasn't thanking her for what she did. So he's like, I started thanking her for all the things that she did for me, even if they're little and seem insignificant. And he's like, and then, surprise, surprise, she started reciprocating. And so that's with my mom, she just will lash out and have no gratitude for other people. And then then it creates this weird cycle and she has this weird energy and then people don't really want to be around her because she's always complaining and no one appreciates me. And it's you also aren't listening though. Even if we tried, she's you get so angry and start throwing tantrums and all that. So it's we're not in the right energy to receive. We're not in that resonance of what we want it to, bring into our lives. And so the universe is saying, hey, be mindful of your energy, be mindful of your thoughts, feel whatever you need to feel, let it out, let it flow. Don't, judge yourself and guilt trip yourself for being human and having those natural emotions, but you don't want to cling on to it because that leads to a lot of unhealthy cycles and dynamics and patterns, and you'll keep having the same types of things show up in your life again and again and again. So if we can practice more gratitude, even if there are things we don't like, because there are always going to be contrasts. There's always going to be things that aren't exactly to our preference. It's part of how this, life is in this 3D realm. But practicing gratitude allows you to bring more of it in, of what you do want. Like Uncle Iroh says, if you look for the light, you can often find it. But if you look for the dark, that's all you ever see. So if you're getting into that energy of gratitude, you're going to have more, experiences to be grateful for, more blessings, more opportunities, more ease, more peace, more joy. You're just in a better energy in general, First quarter moon in Cancer, push through any insecurity. Yeah, that's one thing that can happen because we're human and, the ego and all that. Like, if something isn't working out, we can start getting insecure. We can start questioning ourselves. We can start doubting ourselves. We start feeling like, oh, it's never going to work out. And that's the thing. Like, the universe saying, hey, it is going to work out. That doesn't mean when it says push through any insecurity that you have to, like, force things. You have to power through. You have to go. Harder, push. That's not it. It's more about trusting and allowing, and to have patience and to go with the flow and know that things are going to work out, even if it's not on the, time frame that your human ego prefers. Because the universe has a master plan and divine timing, and the ego has its own plan and timing, and they don't always mash up, and that can trigger the ego hardcore, guys. It really can. And it can start being like, it's never gonna work out, and you know how it is. Those negative narratives, those limiting beliefs, ego can get very, very insecure. Last quarter moon in Aries, work through your feelings. Yeah, allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to feel whatever it is that's coming up. Don't, try to sidestep it, push it aside, sweep it under the rug, bury it, lock it away in the closet, throw away the key. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to be human. Allow yourself to process. You just don't want to cling on to it, okay? Because when you cling on to it, and because like when we have those bad days, we're like, nothing's going right, everything's going wrong. And we can say stuff like, it can't possibly get worse. And then it always does, because that's what we're focusing on. We're clinging on to all the frustration and the negativity and the complaining and the victimization. We're clinging on to be like, woe is me. And it's like, yeah, you're allowed to feel that way. As my aunt says, your feelings are valid, but your perception may not be true. It's the whole blinders we have on. If we look for the dark, that's all we're going to see. We won't notice the blessings and reasons to be grateful and all the good things that are happening because of where our time, energy, and attention is going. So this is why they understand, hey, it's time to work through them. So you can start breaking those unhealthy cycles. You can start, freeing yourself from all of the extra emotional baggage just weighing you down, It's going to allow you to open up so many more doors. The snake transformation, yeah. We're in the year of the snake. And it's all about transformation, shedding old skins and, allowing the growth, the rebirth, the regeneration, stepping into the new, saying goodbye to the old ways and stepping into this new era. It's a brand new dawn. It's all about healing. And we can transform if we allow ourselves to, but it's a choice. I genuinely believe anyone and everyone can learn, grow, and improve, but it's a choice. That doesn't mean everyone's going to choose it. Some people are perfectly content with running away, with being in denial, projecting onto other people, claiming they're the problem, making themselves out to be the victim so they don't have to look in themselves. But if you're looking at content like this, you're amidst the transformation, you're doing the inner work, and it's going to be beautiful. It may be a very messy, drawn-out process because, we're going from caterpillar to butterfly, and in order to become the butterfly, the caterpillar must die, In order for the seed to grow, it has to die, it has to break open, and so, yeah, the transformation process can be messy, but it will be worthwhile in the end. And yeah, the boar bravery. It requires a lot of bravery to step into this, to work through our feelings, to push through the insecurity, to be humble, to, go through the mess and to heal and to process and to look at all the different pieces, making space, allowing ourselves to be open and adaptable instead of, really rigid and controlling and forceful and having the human ego be like, no, this is the way it has to be. To allow ourselves to trust and have faith, it takes a lot of bravery because we are in the unfamiliar, we're in the unknown, there's uncertainty. We don't know exactly how it's going to play out. And so it takes bravery, it takes courage. We have to be able to take that leap of faith. And it's not always easy, but in the end, it's going to be worthwhile. Yeah, because it leads to abundance, the bison. When we are finally able to do all this, it allows an abundance. And yes, we're still in the process of, being a work in progress in the masterpiece. So we may slip up sometimes. We may fall back on old patterns, old habits. But that doesn't mean you're failing. You're still learning, growing, and improving. You're still amidst the transformation. You are still becoming the butterfly. So trust, have faith, be open, and allow yourself to receive the abundance. Don't be like my mom, who's constantly acting like she wants to help, but then shuts it down and won't allow it in, Because she'll complain about how we don't have money for things, and then people will try to give her money. She's like, no. You don't need to give me money for that. No. And so it's just like, the universe is trying to provide for you, is trying to help you, is trying to, lift you up, but you're blocking it. You're saying no, and you're self-sabotaging when we do these things. I've done it before too. I'm just as human as you guys, It's hard being human. Bluebird, you are being gifted with blessings of happiness and peace, yeah? Because you're being open, because you're willing to allow, because you are making peace and trying to make the most of the hands you're being dealt, because you're being humble and you're practicing gratitude and you're working through your feelings instead of, bottling them up and pushing them aside. And it's going to allow happiness and peace, because peace of mind and happiness are inside jobs. You have to choose it. You have to work on it. You can't just automatically have it. Like, the world can be a very chaotic place. There are storms, there are challenges, there are people who choose unkind, hurtful things, But you're being gifted. You're allowing yourself to receive the blessings. You're allowing the universe to work its magic and miracles on your behalf. Condor, hold the highest vision for your life. You now possess the ability to move past any hurdles. That's the thing. You're able to overcome the hurdles because of the work you're doing, because of you making peace with what is and knowing that better days are coming, that the universe will work things out in your ultimate favor, that you're being grateful, that you're being humble, that you're having the faith, that you're trusting, you're getting passionate, you're allowing innovative thinking, That's what's going to help you overcome it. Ostrich, the choice is clear for you now. Follow the wisdom and truth you feel in your heart. Yeah. Don't get so caught up in the mind. The mind is a great resource, but the heart won't let you down. Stay in tune with your heart and your soul. Get in alignment with that. Be in resonance with that, and it's going to open up all these doors for you. It really is. It's going to be beautiful. But a lot of us struggle to trust our heart and our soul, thinking, oh no, we can't do that. It's going to set us up to fail. It's not for sure thing, It's not that kind of a job, for instance, if you're going to go out on your own instead of doing the 9 to 5. That's not reliable. It's unpredictable. It's not stable. It doesn't have the benefits this, that, and the other. But you'll be happy and at peace and have all these opportunities if you trust and allow and have faith. Exactly. Trust. Trust in yourself and the universe. Have faith in the divine plan and trust that everything is unfolding as it should. Yeah. Because even the hardships, the challenges, the frustrations, things going quote unquote awry according to your plans, the universe can be working out in your favor. It could be protecting you. It could be developing skills and resilience and inner strength. It could be saving you for better things, because if you take certain opportunities, then, you won't have the space for what you actually want, what's actually for the best. And so the universe is always going to give you what you want or something better. It's just we can, as humans, get so caught up in our plans and what we think is best that we won't allow it in. And so the universe is saying, hey, it's time to trust. It's time to trust. Yeah, and get in alignment. Your thoughts are manifesting rapidly. Trust in divine guidance and stay focused on your goals. Get in alignment with your heart and soul. It won't lead you astray. Trust and have faith, because things are working out for you. But they're going to go so much smoother if you're in alignment and resonance with what you actually want. If you're in the frustration energy, if you're in, this energy of thinking like nothing's working out and you're getting frustrated and, you're not in alignment with what you want. You're in alignment with what you don't want. So it's just like the universe will manifest for you experiences that you're in alignment with, that you're in resonance with. So if you're in that energy of what you don't want, if you're putting all your time, energy, and attention towards it, you're going to get more of it, Take a step. We're taking a step into the unknown, into the uncertainty, and we're trusting. Let go of old beliefs and patterns that no longer serve you. Prepare to step out of your comfort zone in order to grow and expand. Yeah. It's time to take a step out there, even if it's super uncomfortable and, we're insecure and it's uncertain and it's messy and, it's not like we know where we're going. It's take the step anyway and watch the magic and miracles unfold. Watch the universe show you how good it gets. Spiritual awakening. You are on the right path. You're spiritually evolving and aligning with your higher purpose. Yeah. You're opening up so many more doors because of this. It's beautiful. It really is. Yeah. And the universe is setting you up with security. Work hard and stay disciplined to unlock the happy, wealthy, and successful life. Your guardian angels are here to help you. The universe has your back. That's why it's saying, hey, strengthen your faith. Be humble. Be grateful. Work through things. Have the highest vision for your life. Know that you're going to have blessings of happiness and peace. It's all working out for you. Things are all getting aligned, like stars aligned kind of thing. It's working out for you. But you got to trust. You got to have faith. You got to take those steps. You got to get in alignment. Okay, we have Apple. Temptation will test you. This could be the temptation to fall back into old patterns, old ways, old habits that don't serve you, that aren't in alignment, those unhealthy coping mechanisms. It could be the temptation to just go on to these endless rants and complaints and just making yourself the victim. Is like, woe is me. Why is life so hard? And again, the universe wants you to feel however you feel, to process it, to allow it, but it doesn't want you to just go on these rampages of complaints and negativity, because that's not actually getting you in alignment with what you want. The temptation will be there. The temptation to lash out at other people. The temptation to put the blame on other people, to, think the worst, to not trust, to be ungrateful. But the universe is saying, hey, it's going to test you, but you can overcome it. You can overcome it. Because the universe wants you to know, cobweb, you're protected from negative forces beyond your control. The universe has your back. It is protecting you. It is guiding you. It's supporting you. It will not forget you. It will not forsake you. It will not abandon you. Trust. Have faith. Be grateful and watch things work out for you. Even if it's not working out to your plan, it's working out for you. Haystack. Karma, you will reap what you have sown. Yeah, that's very much the energy you put out into the world is coming back to you. You reap what you sow. You're planting all these seeds of negativity, complaints, frustration, anger, resentment, bitterness, victimization. Well, that's what you're going to harvest. That's the fruits of your labor. But if you're planting the seeds of faith, trust, gratitude, joy, peace, love, fun, laughter, alignment, that kind of thing, abundance, you're going to reap that. It's going to work out for you. Yeah, the universe is showing up at your door. Opportunities are waiting for you. It's knocking at your door, but you have to choose to open it and to walk through, to take that step, to take the leap of faith. It's up to you to choose it. The universe will respect your free will. But even so, Beetle, it is blessing you with good fortune. It is blessing you beyond what you can imagine, but you have to allow yourself to receive. You have to be open. You have to let it in. Because if you're going to be like my family, you're going to end up blocking all these blessings that want to come in. And so it's just like, you could be getting all this good luck, all this good fortune, all these blessings, all this magic and miracles, but if you're like, severing the tie, locking the door, barricading it, it's like, no, you can't come in. It's like, well, how are you going to receive it? You got to get yours in the receptive mode. You got to get in alignment, okay? Because the universe adores you. It truly does. And yeah, the winds of change are coming. Wind chimes, peace and harmony. You're going to have a peaceful life, but you also have to choose it. You have to be intentional. You have to be purposeful. You have to be mindful. You can build a life of peace and harmony, of abundance, of happiness, living from your heart, having your passions. But yeah, you got this. I'm wishing you so much love. Please take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.